It's time to get nasty with these charts. We got to talk about what's going on right now because the market is getting a little spicy. Is this going to absolutely capitulate and go back down? I don't think it is, but it is definitely going to trigger some fear in the market. We got to talk about where these levels are. We have some great charts to show. I think we may have a guest be popping in here. It's not confirmed, but we may be having a guest pop in and share some magic as well. But we've got the homies in chat right now before we go live. Everybody, I see you. I see all your names on a daily basis. I love you. I appreciate you. I hope you're having a wonderful week. This market is still setting up that foundation for that massive breakout to the upside. I want to see all of you, our friends and family of this channel, everybody drop an emoji in here. Drop a lab coat, drop a chicken, drop a bowl, drop something, especially if you are a BitLab member, drop an emoji. And if not, just type in bull or bear for how you feel the price action is going today. But let's go. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Wherever you're tuned in from, we got to talk about this price action because it's getting spicy. Let's be honest, it's been spicy, but it's all within the realms of what we're looking for in this market. Volatility setting up before the price action breaks out, and we're a little frustrated that the opportunity is presenting itself over and over again. Why can we be so deserving? Let's let go of this nonsense. This is a market that is providing opportunity. It's providing that opportunity if you allow it to, and it's just all about being ready. It's about being prepared. It's about being set up in these charts. And when we're looking at this, we see, oh my God, the price action came all the way down from up here, 74, and then 71.4, and then 71, and then 70. But then this is that opportunity, boom, $48,000 coming right into the crux, the intersection of two major trend lines that intersect right here at almost the exact point that the price action came down and touched. And I've been covering this. I've been talking with you all about it, trying to keep you in the know. And that is this trend line that comes all the way back here to January 2021. You could extend this all the way back here, roughly around, not here, the market cycle top back here in 2017. But let's just be conservative and say from here, this is multi-year, 3 years, support, 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 support. Oh my God, resistance. And then when you continue this on, projecting forward, look at the point at which this intersection meets. That's exactly where the price action came down to. It's almost as if the chart was telling you, look right here at this intersection, and that is what has happened. Now, when we talk about what's going on in this market, usually what the biggest theft of your profits is when you're not prepared or when you're being triggered by the same mechanisms that the market makers and the big money, smart money, more patient money is counting on. So with that's the story of what's going on right now. Everybody, my name's Kellam. If this is your first time, it's not going to be your last time. Welcome to the BitLab Academy. I'm ready to roll. I hope you are too. So let's talk about what's going on here because I got 3 key levels I'm paying attention to right now. Of course, there's other levels we could pay attention to, but these are the 3 key levels. Golly, there we go. 3 key levels I'm paying attention to is this basically $48,000, $49,000 where we already bounced. 62.8, which is essentially where the price actions come up into. And then, of course, the most important number of all that all of us want to see, which is this 69.8, let's call it $70,000. Essentially, I want you to notice a price action as we see the rebound here, boom, coming up. Everybody in this moment here, they jump in impatiently and they say, this is it. This is going to $300 million from this move. That's not how it works. You're not going to get rich off one move in the market. You're going to get rich off enduring a lot of moves that are going counter to what your bias is. The point is you have to look at the data, understand what's going on, and really the context of the situation right now is screaming absolute bullish fundamentals for what is to come, but that does not mean it's going to happen today, tomorrow, or next week. In fact, I don't think we're going to see real strong bullishness until sometime around the middle end of September. In fact, I posted it on my Twitter. I believe that we're going to see something around $83,000 Bitcoin by the end of September. That feels bullish now. It almost feels a little contentious, but at the end of the day, what we're looking at is a setup and the appetite that is relentless for this Bitcoin. So my question to every single one of you right now, are you relentless for what your future is going to be? If you are, then you're not going to be chopped out by a day that we get a washout like we saw at the beginning of this week. We saw this massive sell-off. Some people sold down here. How do I know that? Because the candle wick went there. For this candle wick, this is a candle for any newbies. This is a candle body. This is a wick. Sometimes we got to bring it back to basics, right? For the price action, for instance, right here, to come down to this level, there has to be a buyer and a seller at every position to basically paint this price action on the chart. So somebody sold here for somebody else that was a little bit better prepared, that was able to take a buy at this position and ride this up. Similarly, sell off here, peak fear. There's also somebody that sold. Who'd they sell to? They sold to these big institutions. They sold to long-term holders. They sold to people that have a plan. They sold predominantly to people that have a much better position that they're building, that's going to be able to realize incredibly large amount more profits than somebody. If you're selling here, you're doing it wrong. When we see this, when we go through the data. So let's go through the data. We are still holding up above that $2 trillion mark, $2.1 trillion. Bitcoin's at 1.18, almost back to 1.2. Ethereum finally clipped over that 300 billion mark that we were talking about the other day. BNB, we're seeing, a lot of movement up and down this week. Of course, some coins are still down for the week, whereas Bitcoin, remember, we talked about this. Bitcoin, if we throw this on the weekly chart, I mean, look at the candle here. This is a massive, we'll call it a hammer candle. It does have a wick on the upside, but essentially a potential reversal candle if this candle closes a week on Sunday with a structure similar to this. Essentially, we want to see the majority of this wick being eaten up by the bulls defending this zone. This is a very bullish indication about the change of predominantly bearish narrative here, dominating this candle, this week. The bears dominated this narrative. The bears attempted to dominate here, and the bulls ate this up and said, not today, sucker. So if we can close this week like this, it would be great. But let's be honest, when we come back over and look at the CME futures charts, we had a gap here. Of course, that filled once it pushed up and came back down, filled. We formed a gap here. These gaps happen over the weekend when the futures close on Friday and they open up back again Sunday night. When the price action in Bitcoin, the centralized exchanges, the DEXs, anywhere that's not in the traditional market, the futures, the ETFs, Bitcoin trades 24/7. So when the traditional markets close on Friday and then they open again Sunday, if there's been price movement over that period of time that creates a disparity or a difference in where the futures open, that creates these gaps. These gaps, about 88%, 90% of the time, get filled, meaning the price action ran away. Well, look, came back. In this case, we created a gap directly over it. So we have this overlapping gap of once gap below, now gap above. But even within this, notice, we had a little bit of a gap here as well. So we just putting gaps on gaps on gaps on gaps, which this is providing opportunity if you're paying attention to it. Because this is such a high hit rate for CME futures gaps to get filled, I would not bet the farm on it, but you can look at this as a very highly probabilistic indication in the chart that even right here, that although this was pushing up, it's so near, and what do we get? We got a little sell-off, came down, closed this gap, and at this point, we've fully filled not only this gap that had never fully been closed, not only this gap that just formed, but also this small gap. Now we've closed all three gaps. The point here is mind the gap, because the gap is going to give you an indication of where liquidity interest may be sucked back to. So when we're looking at this, there's more to pay attention to. We had the big sell-off. We saw, British HODL posted the other day, and I'm going to be posting a video this afternoon. Actually, I might post it tomorrow. 330,000 registered investment advisors tapping $100 trillion worth of wealth. They're just now, literally, I think it was starting yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been the day before, but this week, just now starting to push out these Bitcoin spot ETFs to their clientele, tapping $100 trillion worth of wealth. Now, I don't think we're going to get 50% or 40% or 30% or 20% or 10%. It'd be incredible if we got 1 to 2%. But 1 to 2% of $100 trillion is $1 to $2 trillion just from the ETF appetite if that buying pressure comes in. The point being is the bullish fundamental case for what we're looking forward to moving off into the end of this year, into 2025, the most bullish portion of the Bitcoin cycle, which is post-halving. We're right now 113 days post-halving. We've seen the last two cycles, 150 to 160 days. After that time is eclipsed, we've seen chopsolidation, sideways price action for those first 100 to 150 days. We are 113 days post-halving right now, measuring from April 19th when the halving occurred. We are still within the chop zone, and so we look at the price action on the chart and we see, are we still in the chop zone? Well, let's just look at the chart. Go to the 12-hour, double click. We can see price action trading sideways within that 150, 160 days that we just outlined. That timeline eclipses or terminates or kicks off right about the middle into September. So everything happening right now is still well within the bounds of everything we've seen in the last two cycles. In fact, it actually just got more similar because we finally just got from the March 13th high around $74,000. From that point to the drop we just essentially had and capitulated to, we just fulfilled finally a drop that is more than that 20% move. Because we look at the cycle, we had one 20% move right here, a second 20% move, a third 20% move, a fourth 20% move, and then I think even right here, a fifth 20% move, a sixth 20% move. And now on this, even if you just measure it from this top, this was even also, I mean, this was 30% from there, 33% from the top. Now 7 moves. What did we see in 2017? 2017 cycle saw 8 moves of 25 to 40% or more. None of those being at the 20% mark. Every one of those. Now the market cap was much smaller back then. However, if you look at the structure and the movement that's happening in these markets, we're starting to actually look more and more similar to 2017. Nobody thought we were going to get more than the institutions are here. We're not going to get those big drops anymore. Well, when people are sure, the market will absolutely slap you with the reality of this market is here to eat people alive that are triggered by the wrong things. If you're triggered by data and substance and strategy, you're going to be doing all right. Now, shout out to everybody that just poured into the room. Got 154 people. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We did three giveaways yesterday based on all you folks here in the room and participating and getting in the live chat, talking. We gifted memberships away. We gifted 2 Arculus away. We gifted a t-shirt. We gifted $50 USDT. So get involved in the live chat. Hit the like button. If we can get over 125 likes in this stream, we can give away another Arculus and t-shirt. Big love. I just want to give back to you guys. Shout out to everybody that is here. Let's go through some of the stories we want to talk about today, because what we're seeing is it weakness in the market? Well, Bitcoin ETFs had $194 million of inflows yesterday after 5 consecutive red days, meaning coins, assets flowing out of the ETFs, people selling. Well, look what we saw right here. When we had the selling, once this flipped, boom, kicked off the next move to the upside. I don't know why this Ask Grok here is on here. There we go. And then again, we see right here, we had a bit of choppiness, but when we got this little peak outflow, boom, kicked off that next move to the upside. Similar right here, we just had a bit of bearishness within the ETF space, or I should say Bitcoin, people participating in the ETFs. It's their first shakeout. It's the first time since the ETF launched that there's a move that was over 20% to the downside. And now we're seeing, look at this massive jump from one day and then a massive jump this next day. The appetite is here. Similarly, if we continue on here, we can see that Bitcoin recorded a whopping $1.7 billion of net outflows. Wait, Kelly, you just said outflows are bad. No, outflows from ETFs suggest selling pressure because then those ETFs have to sell the Bitcoin. That is basically the pairing of that asset that you're buying in the ETF. If you're buying an ETF, it's a representation of the Bitcoin that they have to buy to underlie it. Outflows on exchange are suggesting that somebody buys something or they're holding something in their exchange wallet and they say, I think I'm going to be holding this. So they move it off of exchange and they put it into their private cold storage. $1.7 billion worth of outflows moving into storage off of exchange, meaning they're not preparing to sell. And this is the largest amount in over a year. People are preparing for holding because they're looking for that next move to the upside. We also see Wisdom Tree. Is it a scary time? Well, Wisdom Tree's Bitcoin ETF added $118 million yesterday, which is more than double the total assets under management. Previously, Wisdom Tree added, we may invest in Bitcoin ETFs to the statement of additional information of 3 of their funds. Well, now we're seeing a massive flows there. All at the time when some people sold the bottom of that wick. And we're seeing what I covered this the other day, $23 billion in Bitcoin purchase from basically into long-term holder wallets. We also see, as expected, the largest amount of short positions was liquidated over the past 3 days. And these short positions have effectively fueled the rise in Bitcoin's price. This is important because it'll give you understanding. Remember, data, not price. It will give you understanding on this price movement to the upside. And it was quick. It was wonderful. From the low here, if we look at this, this is a 27% move off the low, off this bounce rebound. Now, when you see, and you look at this on the 12-hour candle, just boom up to the upside. We come down here to the 4-hour. We see this very quick move. See how this breaks this level? As soon as it breaks, pop. And then we have another level. As soon as it breaks, pop. This pop is why it's so important, why I bring up this liquidation data regularly, because what this heat map is showing you is where there is liquidity that will be forced to flip their position. So if this position is below, if we clear this, as we did right here, let me get a better chart. Go to the weekly. If we clear the positions below, this is a super chart. Hold on one second. Let me pull up CoinGlass. Coinglass.com. I was on the wrong map there. Liquidation heat map. We see this right here. You see as this closed below this, it didn't really do much, but as soon as it actually closed below where this liquidation was, boom, it moved, and then etc. If we come over here, it's going to be a lot more clear. For instance, on the monthly chart, we'll see see this kind of cleared the zone, and then once it came back down, cleared the zone and moved, boom, very quick, boom, very quick, boom, very quick. So you're getting cascading selling pressure because these are longs that are forced to close. And once they're closed, you get this very quick selling pressure because all those long positions, in order to cover the position, have to sell the underlying Bitcoin that was a part of that transaction. So when we see that, we also saw this is actually good because it actually set up a healthier situation, because now the sweep low on Bitcoin prices has finally brought health into the market. Now, this can change in a moment's notice, but when we're looking at the price action, the reason why I bring this up, because as this has moved up, it's good. However, what we need to prepare for or be prepared for is that if this was not substantiated just buying, like you go in the market and you buy Bitcoin because you want it, this is forced buying from short set get closed, then there may be a little bit of exploration of price action within this zone right here, which is exactly what we're doing. What you want to watch for is if we lose the 56,960, which is this zone right here, $56,970. If we lose this level, then we're likely coming back to test test a bit lower. Now, not only do we have this level that we're seeing on the price action, 57,000, let's call it that, that's also on this move. We just tapped up into the golden pocket, which also, remember, we cleared the gap. Now that we cleared the gap, the price is exploring to the downside. Also happens to be the golden pocket of this full move here. So we're up into the golden pocket. In addition to the golden pocket, first off, special shout out to my boy here, Crypto Billy. How you doing, good sir? We got to get you on the show because you got such a good perspective on everything in the market. And you know what? He's the first one to tell you, givers gain. So everybody make sure you're out there doing something nice for someone in your world, whether it's a stranger or a friend or family. Don't tell anybody about it. Just help people. That's what this world's about. Let's do better helping people. Now, looking at this, golden pocket rejected here. It's not the end of the world, but look, we have this substantiated level right here, which also comes back to this zone right here where we had some support and resistance. But in addition to that, if this does reject, we got this level that is also tied in with the 382 fib. So this is a level I'm watching for potential bounce at 57.2. If we lose that, then we may be coming down here to still hopefully form a higher low. There's a lot of feelings and fear and hope and excitement and confusion in the market right now when you're zoomed in on this chart. When you come back out and you look at this on a weekly chart and you realize this is an incredibly strong bullish trend that got scary here with the big wick, but the fact that the bulls defended this, bringing this back up, suggests that this bullish trend is going to have continuation. Now, on this, we're watching this trend line right here. This trend line right here. Now, of course, this is a futures. It's going to look the same on this chart right here. This has way too much stuff on it. Let's go to the, let me do BTC, USD, Kraken. Simple. Previous all-time high, consolidating, just like we did right here. Option J. Previous all-time high, consolidating, 162 bars, 160 bars post-halving. What does this look like when we look at this on this chart? 106. Where are we at right now? $162. We're on the weekly. Let's go to the 8-hour and double-click here. Let's delete the Fibonacci. 160. We're within this still. We're within the time frame that we've seen previously. Price action just bores people, confuses people, chops you out, and then it gets let go. Same thing when we see in the last cycle, 160-ish days, boom, and then market rip to the upside. The point is right now, don't get confused on the smaller time frames. We're going to start trading. We're going to be trading together in these charts. We're going to be hopping on to CoinW, looking at what's going on, looking at all the different asset pairs from Bonk to Floki to Pepe to, Cardano to everything is on. There's so many different assets that are with, I love CoinW. This is where we're going to be trading. DOT. You can do futures, you can do margin, you can do spot. And I'm going to be breaking, I have a video that I'm actually recording this weekend, breaking down how to functionally use everything on here, how to know when to isolate versus cross margin, how to set up conditional, limit, or market orders, buy, sell, futures, spot. We're going to be doing this together. And in order to do that, if you want to participate, and I'd love for you to participate with me, and it's a great way to also help support the channel, sign up with CoinW. The link is in the description. And you can see it. It's pinned in it's in the description, but it's also right here. I will share it for you. I don't know why this is on the screen. Sharing this with you right there. Boom. Sign up with us. It's okay if you have a Coinbase account. It's okay if you have other exchange. Have multiple exchanges so you can segment your money, have different strategies in different places, but also making sure that you're protecting yourself. And you can trade with us there. Sign up with that link. No KYC, no VPN. I always use VPNs on any exchange I'm on, even Coinbase. Just a recommendation for safety. But no KYC, no VPN needed. Sign up there, deposit $100 USDT, start making some trades. You're going to be able to trade with us live. Everybody that has signed up through our affiliate link, you get access to that for free. You just got to sign up through our link. And again, it's a great and easy way to help support the channel. And we're going to be doing it together. Now, is the trading group still open? It may still be a few weeks, but I will get you. Yeah, it's open. We are going to limit it when we get a certain number of people. But right now, we still have quite a few more spots. So sign up there. You get free access to, there's going to be some coursework on trends, on TA, on trading strategies, as well as how to use all the different features of CoinW, but also you get access to it'll be live private group sessions. Think of it like a Zoom call, but we're going to be in there together. We're going to be setting up charts. I'll be giving feedback on things that you're doing on a setup, that trades that you might want to take, but also we're going to be sharing all this. I'm going to be showing you the trades that I'm taking. We're going to be doing it together. All you got to do is sign up with CoinW. The link is in the description, and it's also pinned there in the top of the comments. Now, with that being said, let's get back into what we want to talk about here, because there's so much beautiful things going on in this market. And let's just pause. Let's pause for a moment of gratitude. There's gratitude right now that this price has not run away from this previous all-time high level, this consolidation. This is giving you a chance. It's giving you an opportunity to still have incredible opportunities. Shout out to Deborah Archer, just became a member. I appreciate you. Everybody, if you want to join and become a member on this channel, by the way, we did 4 member streams this week. We're doing another member stream this afternoon with Joshua Jake, and that's for BitLab Academy. But if you are a member on this channel, you get access to those member streams as well. And you can sign up and become a member right there. I just posted the link in the live chat there. Now, where are we at? We're 64 likes. Yo Lab Daddy says, Veno, how you doing? We got 64 likes. We get over 125 likes, we're going to be giving some stuff away. So get those likes up, show some love to the channel. And hey, man, we got a lot to talk about. So I'm going to stop talking about this other stuff. We got to talk about these charts because we're seeing a lot of opportunity here. So let's talk about what that opportunity is. This is the level that I'm really watching on Bitcoin. We really need to break with authority through 62,850. Once we clear this level, this is ultimately the gateway right here to higher prices. Now, it doesn't mean if we come up here and hit this number, that price is just going to run away. We still have an opportunity to still chop, because remember, we still have this general timeline that we're paying attention to of how long it's taken previously for things to dip or rip post-halving. Now, we have the FOMC data coming out and the interest rate cut that may likely happen mid-September. And I think I've said it on my Twitter, 83,000 by the end of September. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm not hurt, because I know I believe that we're going to be over $100,000, or at least tap it by the end of the year. I think that this consolidation that we've been seeing has gotten boring enough that we're seeing the washout, and that we just saw near all-time high coins sold at a loss in such a short window on this dip. And in that same period, I mean, $23 billion worth of Bitcoin bought by long-term holders. This is what's going on. Crypto Billy celebrates 8 months membership. We'll be on Blockchain Basement today at 2 p.m., Kelly, to discuss children's book. Much love, bro. Hey, well, everybody, let's tune into Blockchain Basement at 2 o'clock. We have our member stream at 3, so thankfully we don't overlap. Now, look in here. We've got all of this consolidation, and Matthew Hyland has been talking about this on his streams lately. When you look at all this consolidation of sideways action, it's kind of reminiscent of what we saw when did we see it? Right here. Now, what are the dates on this? The dates are, let's look at the bottom. March 2023, last spring, into, look at that, May, into June, into July, into August. What's going on right now? Where is this? March 2024. It's exactly the same playbook. Part of it has to do with liquidity. Part of it has to do with self-fulfilling prophecy because people see this. Part of it has to do with people, big money being away and on vacation, not paying as much attention. But in all markets, you very regularly can see a lull, meaning not as much activity or price action running away. In this case with Bitcoin, we're consolidating much like we did last summer. Nothing is out of context for what we're seeing in the market right now. Things are feeling great. Shout out. Are we getting some gifted memberships going? You guys are just loving it today. I appreciate you. We got Deborah Archer, new member. Falco, gifted a membership. Shout out to you. Crypto Billy, a member for 8 months. Lemonizer, new member. Green Day Profits gifting 5 memberships. We're getting the gift train going today. Big love to you. I appreciate you. It always vibes up the place when people are participating like that and giving back to others. I love you all and I appreciate you. Now, Bitcoin, as it stands right now, we're not out of the woods yes, I do think that we have bottomed. We're not out of the woods though. I do think that there still could be a washout in the cards somewhere down into this $57,000 level. If we come back down and test this is going to be a little bit scary. We're going to have to pay attention. Now, when we look at what's happening right now and relate it to what's happening to the data. I don't know why my charts do that. This low, we have a lower low. Momentum, we have a higher low. We have some bullish divergence coming in here into what we're seeing on the price action as it relates to the data. When we throw in the BitLab intelligence, we saw these likely reversals setting up with a lot of bullish divergences setting up before this little pump to the upside. As it stands right now, we didn't really get that here because the price action was so violent back to the upside. However, there's still signal. We have the momentum waves, bullish divergence. We had all this buying pressure. You see this green, the white wave into the green. This green means that there is a lot of buying pressure here on this momentum swing to the upside. Now, what we saw is stopping volume on this move down. And then as it started rotating up, look, buying volume, substantiating, really defending this level. Where is it coming in at? It's coming in at defending this weekly VWAP right here. This is important to me when I'm looking at the data because the VWAP, this weekly VWAP on the BitLab trading stack, gives me an indication of if bigger players, if the market in general, if the narrative is trying to play a positive spread, meaning pushing up, coming back, testing, pushing up, coming back, testing, or a negative spread, breakdown, having a rise into that weekly VWAP, taking profits, entering shorts, and pushing the price further. And you can see this playing out right here. Once we lost the VWAP, boom, came into it, spread back down, came into it, spread back down. And now on this reversal, price action pushing up, breaking through the VWAP. There were some bears trying to play a negative spread, trying to bring it back down, but we saw buying volume come in, defending the weekly VWAP, and we've pushed up. And technically, we've broken through this trend signal line on the BitLab trading stack, cut through this entire dynamic resistance zone, and now we're kind of testing a little bit of the faith of the people, of the market as it stands. That was on the 12-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we do see still a little bit of negative money flow. We'd like to see that money flow pop back in. But what we're seeing right now is the price action. See this perfectly on the weekly VWAP right here. Support, launch. We would like to see on the bullish narrative for this to hold the level essentially where it's above 59.5. If this is lost, all hope's not lost. We look to the next level, which is a trend signal line at 57.150. And if we lose that, then we're ultimately, as a bull, a near-term bull, watching for 55.728. That's what we're looking at in the near term. And of course, if we do lose that, then we may have some bigger fish to fry. Now, when we look at Ethereum's not performing as well. We can see this on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart. Bleeding down. This is the price of Ethereum as it priced in Bitcoin, meaning Ethereum is losing value to Bitcoin. It fell further and didn't rebound as much as Bitcoin did. You can see this in both these charts. So we did get a nice little W formation here, washed all the way down to 2120, higher low, and then now attempt to the upside, but we're kind of same thing with Bitcoin. We're seeing a little bit of hesitation in the market as it stands. We also have a lot of options expiring today in both Bitcoin and Ethereum. However, as we stand right now, let's not get so lost in every movement here, because what do we see? We see a trend line right here. This is the neckline of this W formation. In addition to that, what do we usually want to see? If we want to see it, we can't be frustrated by it. We want to see a break of a zone. We want to see a retest of that zone to show that the bulls are defending a higher level. And then you want to see the breakout past that zone. What are we seeing right now? We have a couple of the components. That is a break of the zone. And then what's the next step? We want to see a retest of that zone. And then you want to see that continuation if you're looking to take a long. You don't have to feel bad that you missed this. Some people are a little more conservative. If I'm trading, I look for this and then watch the impulse up. Where do the bulls come back in on a retest, which is what just happened here? Now you're substantiating it. And then you have the broader picture here, a little bit even more conservative, is this sort of midterm resetting of that reversal pattern, which we're getting. And now we're breaking this W pattern neckline. And we're ultimately, as it stands right now, just retesting this zone, retesting that previous resistance to see if it can come in as support. And that is this zone right here. What am I talking about? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Price breaks through it, comes down and tests it. If this holds, then a great entry on this, if you are trading, is roughly about right here, which would be a little aggressive or more conservative, breaking this previous high on this zone. That's the nature of the game. You don't need to jump at the fact that this wick came right down here. You don't know if this is going to continue or not. I would argue it pays to be a little bit more conservative. And this is still aggressive. Let this fall. Let the price action bring it back up. Let it fall again. Let it bring it back up. And then you start seeing it pushing up. Great. It's showing you the winds of change are brewing. It doesn't mean change is there. So when you see this rise, watch the retrace. Where do the bulls come in? Now it's substantiated. You have a higher low. The wicks aren't coming down as far. So on this move up, now you have a reversal pattern that is brewed. So you wait for the breakout of the reversal pattern, the retest of that breakout, and the continuation to the upside. That's what we want to see. If this can continue up like this, then we're getting that. We're really starting to get that reversal. Now be careful though, because if this is the case on this time frame, if this pushes up and breaks out, we may get a pump over the weekend. If we get a pump over the weekend, that would indicate that we may be in the same situation that we saw the last two major gaps that we had, which is why everybody, you want a pump on the weekend? I don't. I want a dump on the weekend so that you can have that gap above. But either way, whether it's a pump or a dump, you can see where the magnet is of liquidity coming out of that. Now, we do have somebody that just popped into the room. So let me go ahead and throw him up on. Mr. Crypto Danks in the house. How you doing, my friend? How you feeling?
What's up, big man? I'm good, man. I was trying to get my camera set up. I don't know. There was something wrong with Google Chrome, so I'm on my phone. So forgive the audio, forgive the camera and all that stuff, man. Thanks for having me on. Good to see you, bro.
Of course. Now, everybody, I met this wonderful gentleman at the Bitcoin conference in, I almost said Miami, in Nashville. And he's been in the space for a while. He is an avid crypto trader. He's been driving some incredible volume over in his trades. I just love to always bring in different people. We were chatting this morning. I said, hey, man, pop on the show. So Danky boy.
Yeah, talk to me, baby.
What's going on with this market? Are you more hopeful or fearful in the near term? Let me rephrase. Are you more bullish or bearish in the near term? Let's say between now and the end of the month.
I gotta be honest, bro. I'm a certified bull. Honestly, like when I look at the charts, right? Like last night with the Trade Academy in my group, we had a private session. and I was going over time frames, working from the top down, right? When I'm looking at the weekly, I'm looking at the daily. This is the thing. When we're in a bull run, and you've all heard it, right? We see 30%, 38%, drop offs and then pull back up, right? We've experienced so far only two major pullbacks, and I wouldn't even say major compared to the history of what we've seen. We've had a 25% pullback in the last couple of months, and then recently a 30% pullback. So nothing as crazy as what we've seen, but we're getting close. So to me, just that alone is indicative of what I'm seeing of the start or the beginning of a bull run, or actually even possibly being in a bull run, and some people not even realizing it. Another thing is when I'm looking at the higher time frames, say the daily, for example, I'm on the fixed range profile indicator, and I pulled from the last pump. So I'm open here from February, end of February, all the way on the daily to now. And right now we're in the value area low. All right. So what that means is that the price volume, all the price action is happening literally in the base of where we are. So it would be about 59K, 60K up to 69, 70K. So we're literally in the bottom of the value area low, and we've been ranging for months in between those price ranges, right? Now, the only thing is I do see slight bearish something, which is lower highs and lower lows on the daily and the weekly. And also on the daily, I see the 55 MA about to do a death cross over the 200. So those are kind of significant if we do see something like that. Now I'm on, I believe, the simple moving average 55 and 200. Now, a couple of other things though that are bearish, that are giving me are bullish, that are giving me bullish signals. The RSI on the weekly and the daily moving up from the bottom. If you don't know what the relative strength index is, it's okay. The relative strength index is just going to tell you, are we moving up from an oversold position? If we're moving from the bottom of a 20 or 30, we're oversold and moving up to neutral and then potentially overbought from like 70 or 80. Now we're moving up. Right now we're on the daily, we're right dead smack in the middle at about 50. And the MACD is showing bullish momentum pushing us up. Slight pink, we were red. So on the MACD, I don't know if you have it there. I can't see. I'm not sure on your, yeah. So on the day, exactly. So as we move more pink and smaller candles towards the green side, especially on the daily and on the higher time frames, we're definitely looking more to push up. Now, in confluence with the RSI pushing up, as well as trying to stay above the moving averages, that's when we want to see the major push up. And then if we can sustain that and start pushing on the MACD, major green candles that are not light green, that are just nice deep green, and pushing up on the RSI. On the weekly, same thing. I use the market cipher B as well. I want to see bullish momentum. I want to see money flowing in. If you go, for me, on the market cipher B, we've had a lot of bullish momentum, nothing but bullish momentum on the weekly. Now that's started to fall off, but we do have a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin as of now. So a little bit of mixed signal.
On what time frame are you talking about the money flow?
On the money flow, I'm talking the weekly. So the money flow on the weekly on the market cipher has been green and for quite some time. The momentum wave has started to fall off as of June-ish, end of June. So we have to see what's going to happen on the weekly. And VWAP is kind of falling down as well. Now on the weekly, my mistake, the weekly RSI is actually pulling back. The daily's pulling up. So there's a lot of mixed signals. The MACD now on the weekly starting to push back down. I was hoping today, I just hopped on the charts. I took my daughter to school. You messaged me, and now I'm here seeing what's going on for today. But I mean, mixed signals. But overall, guys, I just don't foresee us ending. I know a lot of people say there's a possibility we're ending a bull run. I mean, I just don't think that's it yet. Now, if I were to argue that possibly we are, right? what we've seen in the past is, 400% increase. Sometime like in the previous bull runs, 1,000% increase, 19%, 100%. The latest one I think was like 460%. Now we have to keep in mind that we did from let's say January of 2023. Let's just give us to October of last year. If I pull up the what is it, the ruler, we've done about 190% since August or October rather. And if I even went back to January, we did do roughly 375%. So some people are arguing that we've had that big push up. Now the thing, and the reason why I mentioned that is because each bull run, we increase in percentage less, obviously because of the price and how much money can come into the market. So it's a lot of mixed signals, but like I said, I'm a certified bull. We're at the bottom of the value area range and we've been able to stick to that. So unless I see a significant drop off, we're still on the weekly well above the 50. We tapped it on the weekly, the 55 rather, and we're still above the 200. So it's still looking pretty good on the weekly, and the daily still looks pretty good as well. It's just a lot of mixed in. What do you think? You know what I mean? I'm curious on your thoughts. I think that you've been pretty bullish, but I think these dips have been some buying opportunities. But how are you feeling about all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think you summarized it pretty well. I think that that washout move to the downside that we just saw on this weekly candle was scary for a day, and it was amazing that within 24 hours that wick was eaten back up, showing an incredible buying pressure from the bulls defending this area, almost like similar to like a Wyckoff strategy where you get this ultimate washout that ends up being a spring that actually propels momentum back to the upside. Now there's a lot on the table right now with the election cycle and with the discourse going back and forth on both parties regarding participation in the crypto ecosystem. We also just saw XRP just got a quote unquote win against the SEC, which brings a little bit more clarity to a potential clarity, I should say, with the way our administration is to the altcoin market. But then we also have this sort of, I think we're all starting to feel numb with the geopolitical stuff, starting with the Ukraine war a few years ago, that now it's like, I don't know what to feel. I don't want to feel apathetic, but I don't know what to feel about what's going on in terms of, is Iran and Israel, there's no way to know what's going to happen there. So I'm very bullish on a chart structure, looking at what's going on with the price action. I do think that we're going to chop still a little bit for the next 4 weeks or so, 4 to 6 weeks. But I expect by the end of September that we'll likely be pushing up, and I think that we'll be making new highs by then as well. So I'm bullish. I think this is a washout. I think there's opportunities abound. I think anybody that's looking for selling opportunities right now, you're doing it wrong unless you bought below $15,000. But I just think that this market, with all of the capital avenues that just got turned on, and the fact that registered investment advisors are now going to start pushing ETFs, and the fact that the discussion and I did an article yesterday for The Street, and I discussed all these things, the fact that we had 2 ETFs in the quarter one that broke every record of any asset in the history of any asset ever, not just crypto. 2 different assets, 2 different Bitcoin spot ETFs in a matter of weeks, individually, not together, but individually had $10 billion in assets under management, which was, the previous record was 3+ years. So, the appetite is here. Anything that's happening right now with downside price action is noise. It's opportunity. It's dip buying season. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. It's interesting. This is the thing is what I'm trying to figure out and you mentioned, the ETFs and stuff like that. A lot of people are saying like these ETFs, there's so much money to be brought into the market. into the crypto market, into the Bitcoin space, and then hopefully fall into the altcoin space. The only thing that I'm concerned or curious about is, are these ETFs already priced in? Have they already bought all of their bags? And if so, that hope of these trillions of dollars coming into the market from the ETFs might be flat because they might have already been buying for the last year, 2 years. I mean, where do you think this, sub 20K all the way up to 70K before the halving came from? I believe a lot of that came from the ETF, if not most of it, right? So do you see more like significant inflows coming over the next year from ETFs and big bank or big corporation, Morgan Stanley, et cetera?
I think it's a loaded question because there's no way to forecast the flow that's going to come from it. I think over the next 5 years, there's going to be trillions that come in. Maybe it's 1, maybe it's 5. But I think everybody, even that number from British Hodl that he posted, 330,000 registered investment advisors with access to basically managing $100 trillion worth of assets. Will we get 1%? Will we get 3%? Will it be a sliding scale? Initially, it's 1, and we start seeing the average trickle up as the confidence in the, various global governments starts to capitulate, you know what I mean? Where people start to lose faith in fiat. But they also people are going to start, remember, we have the biggest financial institutions in the world now pushing a product that is a Bitcoin facing product. So we now have a sales force that's going to start educating people. So my fear is that the speculation drives weak buying pressure, meaning that they're expecting a lot of flows. And if they don't see a lot of flows, they think it's a negative thing. Now that's a good and a bad thing. It's good in that means it'll be a slower burn and we have more opportunity before price completely, is $500,000 a coin. However, I think, let's be honest, the majority of people in the market, they didn't join Bitcoin because they want it to perform like a traditional asset. They're looking for huge explosive price action. Now, that being coupled with the fact that corporations are starting to realize, one, what MicroStrategy did. We now see Metaplanet. We also see Sumner. There's a couple different institutions out there that are creating a Bitcoin strategy for their treasury. But we also saw an amazing number, an immense number of corporations aping in like a mother, you know what I'm about to say, in Q1, buying the Bitcoin spot ETFs as part of their asset, their treasury, their reserves, etc. So I think we're in a very interesting time. I think it's very bullish. I think we need to stop putting the cart before the horse and letting these moments right now. We have 113 days post halving, but from this consolidation point, we're 154 days that we've been consolidating. Well, that's nothing. If you go back in history on Bitcoin, the bottom in 2018 took 119 days just to bottom. From the price action basically going sideways, other than the Black Swan in 2017, we had 385 days of price action in a relative range with one big blip of the global economic shutdown. But we're just consolidating right now with the strongest fundamentals in history, with more access points to have avenues into buying Bitcoin. I think anything that's happening right now, we need to look for opportunity and stop being so darn worried.
I can definitely agree with that. I've definitely been just on these dips. One thing is with altcoins, especially, and I know you talk about altcoins here and there. We're talking about Bitcoin now, but when it comes to altcoins, there are strategies in order to, pack your bags even further. When you start hitting these.
Hold on.
ASPA.
I lost you. There you go. I hit the wrong button.
Oh, sorry.
What'd you say?
It's okay. No, I was talking about, a strategy for people that are, trying to pack their bags more. Say you're already, because a lot of people are fully invested at this point. You know what I mean? Something that I've been doing is, when you see some cryptos, if you can, and it's not recommended for everyone. A lot of times I just say DCA into your bags. But something recently that I did, I'm a big Caspa holder. I sold all of my Caspa bags at one of the most recent highs. And I bought back at the, that big dip we had. It was under 12 cents. It went up to 20 cents, down to 12 and a half, 12.8. And I packed between 12.8 and 12.5. I mean, just almost doubling my back. So there's opportunities of buying on these dips that you just don't get without these major dips, right? So even if it's for short-term play, I mean, imagine doubling 50, 100, 10 grand, 5 grand off of a couple of days from these significant dips. I mean, Bitcoin literally, when you were talking about that dip on the, let me see if I pull up the daily. I mean, that movement, we moved from August 1st, literally 25% in 5 days, 6 days, and then pulled back up. And we have to realize the rest of the market follows Bitcoin, guys. I mean, especially if you're scalping or something and you're looking at the 1 minute, the 3 minute, you can literally see Bitcoin moves, altcoin moves, literally following it. And it's a lot of the market. So you can take advantage of that if you're a trader or if you're trying to find entry points and you see that Bitcoin is really starting to take a nosedive. Look at some of your favorite altcoins and see that they're most likely also doing the same thing. And I've been taking advantage of just selling tops, buying bottoms, and just recycling and refilling my bag and stacking and taking opportunities when I get them. A lot of people get scared, like you said, and we have to not be that way. And if you are, you're over investing, right? We always say, don't invest more than you're willing to lose. But we mean that when we say that. This is not a game for the lighthearted or the faint of heart. This is something that if you're going to put your money there, you need to be comfortable with losing it or losing half of it or making 5x it, 10x it. But I think these moon boy hopes of 100x's, 50x's, that mindset has to be relieved and start realizing these more realistic type of gains, right? So what I've been focusing on is just 2x, 3x, 5x, and packing my bags on the dips.
I love it. I love it. We're going to have to get you on here more often. Maybe we'll make it a regular segment once a week or something.
Yeah, man.
Everybody in the chat right now, if you want to see more of Danks, throw one in chat. I better see how many people we got here. We got 154 people. I should see 154 likes. And make sure you hit that like button. We're going to have to wrap this up. I got to send this over to DGen Alpha. But is there anything else you wanted to wrap out with before we close up the stream?
No, man, I just want to say it's been a pleasure being on here, and it's been so great meeting you, bro, over the last couple of weeks, getting to chat with you and stuff and meeting you at Bitcoin Nashville. So thanks for the opportunity to come on, and hopefully let's do this again soon, brother. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. I appreciate you as well. I look forward to what we're going to do together. Now, everybody, make sure you go. I actually have it pulled up here somewhere. Make sure, where is it at? Give me 1 second. Make sure you head over to Crypto Danks profile. It's here at Crypto Danks, DANKSX. I'll post it there I'm going to post it in the live chat so you can make sure that you can give him a follow, and we'll be having him back on the stream soon. Again, I also want to shout out, make sure you're signing up. We got some really big things coming. Sign up. It's pinned in the top of the live chat. Sign up with us to trade with us there at CoinW. We got some really great stuff. We're going to be giving away some prizes. We're going to be giving you the chart setups. We're going to be trading with you, showing you all the breakdowns. And it's free. All you got to do is sign up with that link, trade with us, deposit 100 USDT. It's your money. You keep it. It's just so you can trade with us. Now, with that being said, sign up. And remember, if you are in this market, you need to protect yourself, protect your crypto, and protect your future. So make sure, shout out to this channel is brought to you by, powered by Arculus. Make sure you head over to getarculus.com using code LAB, LAB10, LAB10 for 10% off. And again, when we're getting these like marks that I told you, we will be giving these away on stream when you guys are participating, hitting that like button. We didn't hit that mark today. We did give away 2 yesterday, but head over to getarculus.com, use code LAB10 for 10% off. Big love to everybody. And again, I'll see you guys in the, all of you that are signing up for CoinW, I'll be getting in touch with you here soon, and we're going to be making sure that we can do this together. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I got something coming out tomorrow about 10:30 a.m. Here on the BitLab Academy channel. With that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Let's head over to the DGen Alpha stream. Let's drop 6. Everybody drop 6 lab coats and say taco time. 6 lab coats and taco time. Let's see how many of you guys can do that over on the DGen Alpha stream. Let me go ahead and pull up the link for that, and because this stream will send you there, but I'll just post a link. You can all head there right now, put in 6 lab coats, and it's just like this. Here, you can copy this and then go and post it in there. Give me 1 second. Lab coat. Lab 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to say taco time. Copy that and go and put that in the live chat over there on DGen Alpha. I'll see you there. Adios. Adios, muchachos.